Do you have negative thoughts that just won't leave your mind? And they mess with your mood and everything, and it makes everything harder? Hi, my name is Ryan, and in this video I'm going to show you easy ways to deal with these negative thoughts and to start living a happier life. So let's just dive in. I want to start this video with an example of my own life. For so many times in the past years, like when I started working at a new place, I have a lot of side jobs, working at a new place, and I had to meet and get to know a lot of new people. There was always this voice in my head who was telling me like, you're not good enough, you're ugly, nobody's going to like you, you're not fun. Those thoughts came into my head so often that I started to feel that way. I started to believe that I wasn't good enough. I started to believe that I was ugly. So what did I do? I bought skincare products, I bought makeup, I bought hair products, I bought so many things to make myself prettier so that people would like me more. That is what was going on in my head. If I'm not pretty, people are not going to like me. If I'm not fun and energetic, people are not going to like me. That was the thing that was going on in my head. And it was quite recently when I discovered like your thoughts most of the time are just lies. Like everyone has like between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts per day. And scientists discovered that 75% of those thoughts are negative self-talk thoughts. They are thoughts when we talk negative about ourselves. Thoughts in your head are going like, you're not good enough, you're ugly, no one is liking you. 75% of those thoughts you have in a day are negative. That's crazy. But that is also the reason why we start believing those thoughts. And we think, oh, when I have these thoughts like so often in a day, it must be true. That's what I thought. But that is the biggest misconception I believe there is. I started to think about my thoughts. I have no control over my thoughts. They just come into my head. I have no control about that. But what I can control is what I do with them. And this is so important because your thoughts make up your emotions. When you think about sad things and you think you're not good enough, suddenly you're going to believe it. It's like an affirmation, but then a negative one. So when those thoughts were coming into my head, I started to feel sad and I started to feel bad and insecure. But before that, I just felt okay. Before those thoughts, I was like, okay, I'm going to meet new people, nice. But then those thoughts came into my head and I started to feel sad and insecure. And I was like, I don't want that. So then I started to learn about these thoughts and where they came from. And it's actually because of our survival instinct. Like our brain is constantly programmed to look for danger. It's called a fight or flight. So when you see something, it could either be a danger and a threat or not. Your brain is constantly thinking about that because that's how they did it hundreds and thousands of years ago. But when your brain thinks something is a threat, like a new group of people, then it's going to tell you all these fears to get you out of that situation. And it's going to tell you all these lies to get you out of that situation. It's going to tell you, you're not good enough, you're ugly, because your brain wants you to get out of there because it's a threat. People may not like you, you may do something embarrassing, so it wants to get you out of there. But those thoughts are the biggest lie in your head there is. Oh my God, it's so crazy. But there's a way to unlearn this and to overcome this. Because you don't want to feel insecure every time you go somewhere new. Or you don't want to feel like you're not good enough when you meet new people. You just want to feel confident and competent. I'm going to show you how I deal with these thoughts. First thing I had to realize is that my thoughts are mostly just lies. Like the thoughts in my head are just lies that my mind is telling me. They're not true. When my mind is telling me like, oh, you're not pretty, or you're incompetent, or you're not good enough, those are just lies. That's not the truth. You have to realize that most of your thoughts in your head, are telling you those terrible things, they're not true. They're just not. But it's so hard to think about that and realize that. But they are just not true. They're lies. Most of the time. So now, what I do when I get those thoughts, I'm going to reframe them. And I ask myself this question. Are these thoughts helping me now? When the answer is no, I tell myself, okay, mind, thank you for these thoughts and for these fears, but I don't need them now. So you can go away. And then suddenly they just fade out because they're not getting attention. Because when you feed them with attention, they'll grow and they'll get bigger. But when you just say, okay, thank you for helping me for these fears, but I don't need them now, then they'll fade away. And that's what happened when I'll use the example of meeting new people. When I walked into a room with a crowd of new people, all these fears came into my head like, you're not good enough, you're ugly, nobody's going to like you, you're not competent, you can't talk to anyone. And I said to myself, are these thoughts helping me now? And I was like, no, they're not helping me now. So I said to my mind, thank you, but you can go away. And then I let go of those thoughts. And it helped me so much. Because now my mind was just open-minded and I was like, let's just see what the situation brings. I know I'm competent, I know I'm pretty, I know I can talk to anyone. So I know I can deal with this situation. So when you have those negative self-talk thoughts, tell yourself like most of the time those thoughts are lies. And ask yourself, are these thoughts helping me now? Because if they don't, you can just thank your mind for projecting those fears and trying to help you. And then you can tell them, you can leave. I'm fine, I can do this. But, there's one but. This process takes time. This is not going to go away from one day to the other or from one situation to the other. This takes so much time. I'm still struggling with that a lot of the time. Now I'm planning my own show and I've put the ticketing online yesterday. Now I'm started to doubt myself and question, like, am I going to sell out this concert? Because that's my goal. I want to sell 280 tickets. And suddenly now my mind is projecting fears that I'm not competent and I'm going to start to doubt myself. I don't want it because if I feed that fear, I'm not going to do anything because I'm too scared to try it. But if I tell my mind, okay, thank you for projecting these fears, but I'm going to try it anyway, so you can go away now. And now I feel so much more motivated to just try it, even though I know there is a chance I'm not going to sell it out. And then I start to know and believe, like, I'm going to sell this venue. I'm going to sell it out. I'm going to sell 280 tickets. I am going to do that. But you have to tell yourself that every day. It was not just one day to the other that I thought, okay, I'm competent enough and I know I'm going to sell out this venue. No. I've been telling that for the past few months. And for the past few weeks, I started to believe it. And I know I can do this. I know I can. And I will. And I don't care what my mind projects me with fears or self-doubt. I'm not going to listen to that. Because that's just, it's a fear and it's a lie. It's just someone telling you from the outside like, hey, you can't do this. You're not competent enough. You cannot do this. They're lies. They're really lies. But it's just your mind trying to help you in a really weird way. Now that you know how to handle negative self-talk, remember, it's just the beginning. And it's just as important to not caring what other people think of you. I've got a whole video about this, talking about how to stop caring about what people think of you. You can check it right after this. And let's continue building this strong, confident mindset. I will see you next time with a new topic. Have a really nice day. and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.